Sustainability to me is the efficient use of resources so that you can preserve or improve the world for future generations.
Sustainability is being able to maintain the rate of consumption for the long haul without depleting the resources to the point where they can't be used in the future.
Sustainability is simplicity in its purest form.
Hi, my name is Sarah Masterson. I go to the University of Alabama and I'm in New College doing environmental studies and ethics. I'm fixing to go to Iceland and learn about their sustainability practices and policy. It's going to be awesome.
What is sustainability? That's a question plaguing many, actually, and it's one I sought to answer when I went to study abroad in Iceland during May of 2009. My name is Emily, and I'm a student of advertising at the University of Alabama. I'm very interested in environmental issues and all things that go with the green trend. With a dozen other college students and 2 instructors, I took a flight to Iceland to learn about the country's natural history, ecology, and culture, and how each affects the environment at large. My classmates and I stayed in an eco-village called Solheimar, while over half of the 100 residents are disabled. There, we learned about sustainable practices and how community plays a role in conserving resources. Solheimar runs mostly off of renewable energy. Like in many parts of Iceland, its water is heated by geothermal hot springs. Windmills and solar panels also provide electricity to the village. Residents at Solheimar enjoy rich lives. They make soaps, paint ceramics, and learn woodworking crafts while living among beautiful Icelandic scenery. At Solheimar, residents take part in growing tomatoes and peppers in greenhouses. Waste material is composted and used as fertilizer in the village's greenhouses to provide nutrients to the food grown there. You might be thinking that it's a bit ironic that so many people boarded a fuel-burning plane to learn how to reduce their impact on the planet. However, we spent 2 days planting over 6,000 trees with the Hekla Forest Project to offset our contribution to global warming.
And this is a natural tree in Iceland too, and it forms like a big big shrubs.
By planting trees in barren areas, our goal was to place root systems that would ultimately keep soil protected from wind erosion. Eventually, when the birch trees and the willows we planted grow, they will bring nitrogen into the soil and increase its fertility. While in Iceland, we learned about controversies surrounding renewable energy sources.
This fissure comes from sea inland here, goes to east.
We visited hydroelectric and geothermal power plants to witness how electricity is created, and discuss how many hydroelectric plants are destroying habitats and augmenting fish populations.
We're just selling our nature and giving to foreign investors. Seems not right.
Oh, it's the same thing. It's just like you would put Iceland on eBay, you know? Just sell it for $1.
Yeah, highest bid.
Yeah, highest bid.
Hot springs heated by the earth are also abundant in Iceland. After long days of hiking in chilly Icelandic weather, we welcomed a dip in the warm water.
Wade in the water.
Oh!
Hey! You guys want to take a picture? Sure.
We also stayed with a couple who were very resourceful in their building methods. Hannes is an architect who makes his own tools and relies on an old-school way of creating walls. Through a method known as turf building, Hannes makes the use of sod and dirt to create a sturdy foundation. We took a day to learn Hannes' craft and contributed to the walls of a barn Hannes and Christine restored.
Maybe it's what she wanted to do. What about these guys? Did they come out?
If you don't guys...
This is in some sense a living tradition, in the sense that this is a living tradition in the memory of most Icelanders.
Hannes and his wife Christine knew how to make a little bit go a long way. Hannes and Christine also incorporate recycled materials into the buildings they own.
I think it's about 10 years that since Hannes tore down this barn in Reykjavik, horse barn, and in order to collect all the timber. And so we spent a few summers cleaning the timber, taking all the nails out and so on, and we have been storing it in this area over there. And so gradually we've been using all this timber. All of this building is from the used timber from the barn, and in this room everything is reused, so to speak. Every single thing in here is given to us, or was to be thrown away. The ceiling up here is reused artwork. For the last few years there has been an economic boom which turned out to be a bubble, and people in Iceland thought they were very rich and they were renovating their houses, and everybody was putting marble tables in their kitchens. And you see here, this is the cut off from those tables, because they cut holes for the sinks and stoves and so on. So this is the cut off from that, and we are going to use these things for the floor.
Aside from making an effort to preserve nature, my classmates and I took time to appreciate it. 2 tour guides named Polly and Rosa took us through a series of mountain ranges and glacial coverings.
102,5. Yeah.
Over the course of 3 days, we hiked 43 kilometers and crossed freezing water that had melted from a glacier. Polly and Rosa knew Iceland well, and they knew their role in preserving Iceland's natural wonders. Because they work as tour guides, Polly and Rosa have witnessed many Icelandic natives and foreign visitors' fascination with the mountainous regions of their country. Though many think the U.S. is in an economic rut, Iceland is virtually bankrupt, and it's currently relying on loans from the International Monetary Fund. Polly and Rosa have concluded that the economic crisis in Iceland has led many to stop concentrating on acquiring goods and to instead focus on rediscovering the beauty that surrounds them.
We're facing really hard times because the bankruptcy was really big and hard. In many ways, the society is much more relaxed than it was before. Mm-hmm. So in the end, I think it might even be just good for us if if we all get through this in one piece and with each other's help. The consumption has been way too much, and just actually you don't have to buy a new car or new furniture almost every year.
Ultimately, the Alabama and Iceland crew learned a good lesson about living more simply. For many days, we lived with little, a few changes of clothes and a sleeping bag, and we lived with the land. We were removed from shopping centers and experienced a concept known as voluntary simplicity firsthand.
I think everyone should take a good look at their lifestyles and see what they can do to minimize. I think what people need to do is at the same time think about themselves in terms of what do I want out of life, and also think about the whole world, because we are part of the world. Mankind is nothing but a flock of sparrows that just circling around the globe, and we think we are alone, but we are part of a much larger group. Life is simple, but we do all sorts of weird things to complicate it. What do I need? I personally, I need the roof over my head. I don't need a big house because I'm never there anyway. All the good things in my life are out there. Sun, the mountains, birdsong, oxygen. Who can take that away from me? Nobody can. I could do it. I could do something to myself with my lifestyle to spoil it, so I would be unable to enjoy those things. But as long as I'm aware of it, I'm completely free, because no one can take that away from me. Not even the International Monetary Fund, that is in fact running Iceland at the moment.
My interpretation of voluntary simplicity is one that describes a lifestyle that is sustainable, one that doesn't take more than it gives to the world. While recognizing that our wants are different from our survival-oriented needs, 13 Americans came to the realization that they must rethink their lifestyles and consumption habits in order to reduce their reliance on the material world and start appreciating the nature that surrounds them.